what we did wrong and we apologize for it. But not everybody saw that.
There was a time when Tyra Banks was everywhere. The supermodel became the queen of reality TV after creating, producing, and presenting America's Next Top Model, which ran for 24 seasons. But lately, she hasn't been in the public eye as much, and the reason why is absolutely crazy. Tyra has had the kind of career that most supermodels can only dream of. She made history by becoming the first African American woman to be on the cover of both GQ and Sports Illustrated. And she was also one of the iconic Victoria's Secret angels for 8 years. In the early 2000s, she became one of the highest earning models in the world. But in this youth-obsessed society, models know that they have to sell by day and that they eventually need to find a new way to earn an income. And Tyra came up with one of the most successful ways for a model to do that by using her expertise and knowledge on the fashion industry to create America's Next Top Model. The show was an absolute hit. It gained millions of followers and resulted in 50 different versions of it being made. But while it was considered innovative and groundbreaking at the time, it has since been met with a lot of criticism, which has led to Tyra's likability factor taking a serious hit. The show began in 2003, and at the time, it arguably dealt with topics like race, gender, LGBTQ+, and inequality in ways that other reality shows weren't doing back then. Lately though, Tyra and the show have received a lot of backlash because of the way they treated the contestants. During the start of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the show became available for streaming on various platforms, and it had a resurgence as many of us began rewatching it. Plus, it was now available to people who couldn't access it before. But the world has changed a lot in the last 17 years, and people watching it in 2020 saw the reality show in a whole new light. A light that didn't make Tyra look like the trailblazing activist she was considered to be back then. After the show received a surge of viewings online, people noticed some of the ways that Tyra treated the competing models, and she became a villain on the internet. Her show, which was originally praised for covering what were considered to be more taboo topics at the time, was revealed to also exploit those same issues for the sake of entertainment value. And you're seriously not going to believe some of the things that Tyra said and did to the contestants over the years. In 2020, clips from the show started going viral on Twitter and TikTok, and one of them, Tyra was telling a lesbian contestant how to make her gayness acceptable in the media. The model was sharing how she wanted to be out and proud, and Tyra shut her down by saying that she didn't need to be so in everyone's face about it. It was definitely the kind of language that a straight TV presenter wouldn't get away with using these days. In another viral clip, Tyra can be seen shaming a contestant because she consciously chose not to close the gap in her front tooth after visiting the show's dentist. The contestant has since said that Tyra had never even suggested that she do that, and she realized that she was being ambushed in front of the judges for the sake of creating drama. In one episode, a female contestant was complaining about how a male model that she was shooting with was being highly inappropriate with her, and Tyra simply told her that she needed to learn how to deal with him by using her femininity and without making a scene. In 2011, a contestant actually won, but was edited out of the final episode after she confessed to the producers that she had a job as an adult worker. Tyra only announced that she'd been disqualified for unusual circumstances. The show in general has also been heavily criticized for the way that it's handled a bunch of other things too. Of course, being connected to the fashion industry, there were a lot of examples of weight shaming. There were scenes where the camera was cruelly zoomed in on contestants' stomachs after they'd been told that they weren't an ideal weight. The editors even put funny sound effects over to add to the ridicule. And there were at least 2 times in the show's earlier seasons where the light-skinned models had their skin darkened for photo shoots. The models were told they needed to portray different races than their own. There was even a season where the contestants said they were paid next to nothing to participate, which people found shocking considering just how much Tyra and the co-judges were earning while on the show. Other ex-contestants have said that they weren't even allowed to speak to their relatives unless each family member they spoke to had signed an NDA beforehand. So a lot of them didn't get to speak to their loved ones throughout the shooting of the show. A story also came out in 2022 in Insider where various ex-contestants shared their humiliating and sometimes painful experience that they went through on America's Next Top Model. One contestant even went as far as to say that her time on the show was comparable with psychological warfare. The backlash created so much attention on social media that eventually Tyra must have realized that she needed to address this. She wrote on Twitter that she'd seen the posts about the show's insensitivity and that she agreed with them, and went on to admit that she'd made some really off choices. While it was big for her to admit that, I don't think it was enough to help her now tainted image and reputation all that much, especially since it then came out that it wasn't only the models that were unhappy with Tyra during the show. A couple of judges on the show also claimed that Tyra was really difficult to work with. Janice Dickinson, who calls herself the world's first supermodel, was fired from the show and had quite a few harsh words to share about Tyra. Paulina Poriskova was another judge who was let go. And in an awkward interview when Tyra was asked about why Janice and Paulina both had negative things to say about her, she refused to answer. Tyra also had a talk show from 2005 to 2010 named The Tyra Banks Show, which has also received criticism for how it handled some of its more sensitive subjects. And Tyra also created a panel talk show named Fab Life that she then mysteriously left after 2 months. She claimed that she wanted to focus more on her cosmetics line. The show received low ratings and was canceled after 1 season. People question if the show's failure was connected to Tyra and her fading popularity. However, she had found a way to stay on people's screens as she was selected to be the host of Dancing with the Stars in 2020. Although, since being on the show, she has already been met with a lot of backlash. Apparently, once she was named as the host, she made it a point to make her own mark on the show, and a source told OK that she was very selective about which stars could appear on the show. She reportedly banned some of the celebrities that she was known to not get along with, like Chrissy Teigen, who she co-hosted Fab Life with, but allegedly did not like very much. Tyra's also received criticism for getting people's names wrong on the show and then blaming the crew for the mistake rather than admitting it was her own fault. Another insider also told The Sun that Tyra wasn't fitting in on Dancing with the Stars. They alleged that the producers weren't getting along with her, and people in general have noted that she frequently seems to rub contestants the wrong way. There were also rumors that she wasn't even going to come back for the 31st season of the show, but in the end it came out that she would instead now be co-hosting with ex-winner Alfonso Ribeiro. I think it's safe to say that the addition of another host goes to show that there was a lack of confidence in Tyra. She just doesn't seem to have the same likability factor that she used to. However, despite a lot of people calling out for Tyra to be canceled, she's managed to hold on to a place in the spotlight. But the question is, for how much longer? Some people have even commented online that while Naomi Campbell was always considered to be more a villainous figure in the public eye, and even a nemesis of Tyra, the roles have now seemingly been reversed. So it's hard to tell if Tyra will ever be able to make a comeback and get into people's good graces once again. But what do you guys think? Does Tyra deserve to disappear from the limelight after all the things she's been criticized for? Or has she been around for too long now to be officially canceled? Let me know in the comments down below.